Hey, what is up you guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to remove the spare tire from a C4 Corvette. If you're new to the channel, my name's Jeff and this is my 89 C4. She's a little dirty today, guys, so bear with me. So obviously the process of removing the spare tire is an important process to know and be familiar with in case you get a flat tire. But also it's important to know so you can perform maintenance on the spare tire and its associated components like the lug wrench, the jack, as well as just make sure everything is working properly. The spare tire is something that's overlooked by a lot of C4 owners, myself included. I've owned this car for over a year now and I haven't checked out the spare yet. I have no idea what condition it's in. I have no idea if all the components are there, and I have no idea if everything is working as it should. So we're gonna find that out today. So the first thing to be aware of is the location of the spare tire. And on this car and all C4s, the spare tire is under the rear portion of the car between the rear bumper and the rear axle. I'm sure that most of you guys watching know this already, but you'd be surprised at how many threads there are on Corvette forum where people have asked the location of the spare tire on a C4. So there you go, that's where she is. And what we're gonna do is lower this tub down and pull the spare tire out. So to lower the tub down, we need to use this lug wrench right here. On early C4s, you are gonna find this mounted to the radiator shroud underneath the hood or in the passenger side cargo bin. For my 89 and later model C4s, the lug wrench is behind the driver's seat. This is just held in by a wing nut right here, so I'm gonna undo that. And it's out. It is really dirty down here. I need to do some cleaning for sure. Anyway, so we're gonna take this guy and go underneath the car and use it on this bolt right here that holds the tub up. If you find that your C4 is missing this lug wrench, you can use a 3/4 inch socket. All right, you guys, so now that I've lowered the tub a few inches, I can now lift it up and then move the bolt and this retainer bracket out of the way, and then the tub drops down. And there's the spare. So now you can just slide it out. Look at all the crap under here. All right, let's take this in the garage and get a closer look at it. This thing feels like it has air, but let's check for sure. Yeah, it doesn't. So there you go. This thing doesn't have any air, and if I would have gotten a flat and tried to use this spare tire, I would have been in trouble. As far as the overall condition goes on this tire, guys, it seems to be pretty good. I don't see any dry rot anywhere. I mean, I know it's really dirty and I could probably get a better idea of the condition if I cleaned it up, but just at first glance, it looks pretty good. As we spin it around here, you can see the jack right there and a whole lot of dirt. Let's see how much this thing weighs. About 33 pounds. So that's with the spare and the jack. To get the jack out, looks like you just pull up on this little retainer here. Just pull it out. All right, guys, I came back outside because there's dirt flying everywhere, but let's see how much dirt is in this bag. Ugh. There's a little rubber band here that's holding things in place that I'm going to take off and make sure the jack is working. There you go, it works. That's good news. So now I'm just gonna clean everything up, put some air in that tire and get it ready to go back in. All right, you guys, everything's all clean and ready to go back in. Check it out. I filled up the spare tire with air. It takes 60 PSI. So that's good to go. I didn't go crazy on the cleaning just because this stuff undoubtedly will get filthy dirty pretty quick anyways, but it definitely looks good and looks better than it did. All right, you guys, so there's one thing I want to show you before we put this spare back in place, and that is that this tub has two different level settings, one high and one low. Currently it is set on the high setting because this is for the spare, and since the spare is pretty thin, it allows this tub to kind of tuck up as much as possible underneath the car. The other setting is a low setting, which you get to by just sliding the tub along this track, and it goes all the way down, and that allows the tub to sit lower so you can fit the 275/40/17 wheel and tire in the tub if you have a flat. Now if you have a tire that's bigger than the 275/40/17, you're gonna have to place it in the cargo area. So just FYI, this is a pretty cool feature. All right, let's get this thing back in place. All right, you guys, so the spare is back in place and I'm going to go ahead and tighten down this retaining bolt. Another thing I want to mention is that on Corvette forum, I've seen a lot of posts where guys say that they feel like their spare tire is hanging down lower than it should. And that could be due to a couple different things. The first one is the level setting of the tub could be on the wrong setting. You could be on the lower setting as opposed to the higher setting. Another thing that can cause that problem is the top of the retainer bolt may not be seated properly. I have the license plate off for better visibility, and again, you want to make sure that this is seated in these grooves properly. So there you go. If you have a C4 and you feel like your spare is hanging lower than it should, be sure to check those two things. Okay guys, everything's all buttoned up and put back into place. Overall, it's a pretty easy and straightforward process. The next time I have the spare out, I think I'm gonna repaint the tub just to make it look a little better. As I was preparing for this video, I came across a few interesting things, and the first one is that in 95 and 96, there was an option for a spare tire delete. And in place of the spare, there was an aluminum bracket, just like this one. Another interesting thing is that a lot of guys will remove the spare tire and the tub assembly for weight savings. A lot of guys are against that because some argue that the spare has crash protection functionality and that the spare will absorb some of the impact from a rear collision. So yeah, there's a lot of debate around that topic. I'm not going to get into it, but one thing I have always wondered is, does taking out the spare and the tub assembly affect the height of the car in the back? So I took some measurements before I removed the spare and after, and as you can see from these pictures, there is a slight difference in the height of the car from before the spare is out to after. Obviously it's very minimal, it's only about a 1/16 of an inch, but still, that's interesting and good to know. Another fun fact is there is a little light down here. So if you are changing your spare in the dark, you have a little bit of light, which is pretty cool. And it just comes on every time your interior lights are on. And the last interesting thing I want to say is that the C5 Corvette did not come with a spare tire. That car came with run flat tires. So that's an interesting idea and concept. It's definitely something that you can apply to the C4 if you want to remove your spare and the tub assembly. You can get run flat tires to replace that. You can also carry Fix-A-Flat in the car with you, or you can just rely on AAA or a tow service to come get you if you end up having a flat. Anyway, there you go guys. That's gonna do it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. There's not a lot of content out there about this stuff, so hopefully you enjoyed it and hopefully you found it helpful. If I missed anything, please drop it in the comments below. And for more information, just refer to your owner's manual. Smash that like button if you enjoyed the video and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Take care guys, I'll see you in the next one.